and then later I will ask, what is the text about, and what can you get from the text? However, you don't have to understand the entire content of the text. So yeah, you can start reading, and then I will start asking you several questions in 2 more minutes. Okay, have you finished reading this text?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What can you understand from this?
The process of how rain is made.
The process of rain. Okay, any other answers? Besides the process of rain. Is that the only answer, or do all of you have the same answer, or maybe you have something else in mind? Feel free to share it. It will be just fine with me.
The phenomenon of rain.
Rain. Where can we find that information? In which paragraph?
On the second paragraph.
If you take a look there, let's focus on the second paragraph. What kind of information we can find? Is it about steps? Is it about explanations? Is it about revealing facts, or maybe is it about opinion? Yeah. Tentang apa ini?
Tentang proses
Yes.
water cycle dari awal evaporasi hingga hujan lagi.
Okay, so it's about the beginning of the steps until the end. Is that what you want to say? So, from your answers that you have gathered just now, can you guess what kind of text this is? Ya, ini jenis teks apa? Kalau kind of text. Does anyone know, or has any of you read this kind of text before?
Explanation bukan.
Explanation. If it's an explanation, so what's an explanation text really is? Yeah, what's explanation text?
Teks
Yeah.
teks yang menjelaskan tentang fenomena alam.
Okay.
Reason how
Yeah, sorry.
to explain a text to explain the reason how something happened.
It's a kind of text to what we call explain how certain things happens. Bilang to talk about natural phenomenon. Is it limited to natural phenomenon, or we can also talk about anything else besides natural? Ada lagi nggak yang bisa dibahas di apa namanya? Di explanation text ini. Ada atau nggak ada?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the question?
Oh, is there anything else we can discuss besides natural phenomenon?
Social phenomenon.
Social phenomenon. We can also talk about it. Can you please give us example?
Poverty in poverty in rural area.
Okay. And what will we talk about if we choose poverty as the main topic?
How does the poverty happen and how to eradicate it?
Can we focus on how it happens? So from the beginning until the end. However, we still can talk about how to solve that problem, but it will not be our main focus on this. Yeah. Okay, so all of you have answered, and we have agreed that this is an explanation text. Yeah. And yeah, you need to know what is explanation text. It is a text where we have to explain the process on how certain things happen. So let's focus on the word process, which means we will have steps over there. What can we discuss? Not only nature, we can also talk about social things like how poverty happens in certain areas in Indonesia, for example, or if we want to talk about natural things, how rain happens, how earthquake happens, and things like that. However, you have to be careful. The keyword in explanation text is process, and when we talk about process, we will talk about steps. sometimes when we put steps in our text, we will be a bit carried away and we will, what do we call? We will be switching from making an explanation text into a procedure. However, they are completely different, although they have steps there. To know the difference between explanation and procedure, so let's take a look at this example. However, before I show you the example, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
No. How about the others? If you have any questions, feel free to go to the chat box, or if you want to ask directly, just unmute yourself and then give your questions, and if it's possible, we will have the discussion about it. So far, any questions? No?
No, sir.
Yes. So I have to, let's say these are topics. The first one, as we can read, it says how to make the most of Instagram's algorithm. The second one, how Instagram's algorithm works. My question is, which one is suitable for procedure and which one is suitable for explanation?
The first one, maybe more suitable for procedure text, and the second one is more onto the explanation.
Okay. What makes you think that the first one is suitable for procedure?
Because procedure text itself is about the steps on how to make things and how to achieve things. But
Okay.
our explanation is the explanation of how it happened.
Okay, good. So the first one is suitable more for procedure because it will give us, let's say, steps or like guidance for us to do the objective here, which is making most of Instagram's algorithm. Well, the second one, just like your explanation, which is true also. Here we will find explanation on how that thing works. So that's why, although there's a similarity between procedure and explanation, we have to pay more attention on the function. If we want to tell people about how to do certain things, just like you said, how to achieve certain things, how to make certain things, and we can go with the procedures and the steps we will give. What do we call something like activities for our readers to do? What they have to do to accomplish the objective, which becomes the main topic. On the second one, you can see we will only give an explanation how certain thing works. Here, if we talk about how Instagram's algorithm works, we're not going to talk about how to make the most of it or how to outsmart the algorithm. We'll only tell them how it works. What will they do from the beginning? We create our account from the beginning when we make a post until the end of the process. That's the difference between procedure and explanation. Any questions? this point. Atau sudah jelas atau ini. Untuk yang lain mungkin. If you need more time to digest, just let me know if you need me to repeat certain parts. Feel free to ask. Yeah. Yang lain juga. No? No questions? If you have no questions, we have talked about the concept of explanation text. We have also talked about the difference between explanation and what we call procedure. Now let's talk about the structure. Yeah. When we talk about the structure, as we can see, it's not that complicated. There are only 4 main parts. And since we talk about process and then our leaders are people at our age, maybe if you meet one year, your friends will read the text. So you don't have to create such a long paragraph. However, each part of the structure must be crafted or made carefully. So let's start with the title. It's a bit unusual, I know, to have the title as an important part of the text. My question is why it becomes an important part.
I think it is important because it tells people what was discussed in the text.
Okay, good. To narrow down the reader's focus. So when they read the title, they know exactly what they will read. And on the title, you have to be specific. Although you, what do we call? Although you have to make a short and what do we call, concise title. So you cannot make title, for example, rain. Then that will be confusing. So you have to create something like the process of rain or how rain happens. The process of water cycle. Yeah. As you can see, those are shorts, but they directly leads the readers into the topic of your text. So that's why title is important here. Now make sure you don't create a long and confusing one. Just go straight to the point and make sure it represents your idea. It represents what is explained on the text. And next we have opening statement. In which paragraph we can find this part?
Mostly in paragraph 1.
Yes, it will be on the first paragraph or at the beginning of your text. And can you predict what kind of information we can put here?
The general information regarding the title.
Okay, can you give me example?
Perhaps raining is blah 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 blah, or the definition of is blah blah.
Okay, so this is like the general information of your um, text, of your topic, sorry. Like why you have to bring this topic up. Fact about your topic. So let's say we talk about process of rain, and here we can talk about rain, why rain is important, and to support your argument or to strengthen your text, you can also put, let's say, information from credible source, like from books, from trusted websites, from experts, and yeah, other what we call reliable sources to make your explanation, it's not valid, but more credible. And an opening statement, also you have to be careful because sometimes we want to put as many things as possible, as much information as possible, which usually leads to an effective paragraph. So it will be all over the place. So how to avoid that? Make sure on the opening paragraph, you limit your information into like 4 or 5 sentences. You don't have to create a long paragraph here. You don't have, your information doesn't have to be that complete as long as it supports um, the objective of the text include. So that will be the title and opening statement. Is there any questions? No? No question? If you have no questions, let's go to the main part of explanation text, which is the sequencing. If we can find opening statement on the first paragraph, where can we find the sequencing part?
The second paragraph.
On the second paragraph. Can we put more than one paragraph on sequencing?
Yes.
Okay, so it will consist of one or more paragraphs. What can we put on sequencing, or what can we find there?
The steps or the detailed explanation, the detailed explanation of the phenomenon.
Anything else? Okay.
The process explanation.
Okay, the explanation of the process. Very good. First, when we talk about sequencing paragraphs, we will start explaining the steps here. We will start and we will end the explanation of the process here on this part. Can we put more than one paragraphs? You have given me the correct answer. Yes, we can have more than one paragraphs in this part. And there are two reasons why we can have more than one paragraphs. And personally, I will suggest you to put more than one paragraphs. The first reason is for us as the writer of the text. Again, just like the first paragraph, here we will start explaining the process. And sometimes we put too much, what do we call, spice on it. We have extra information that we put, okay, I think it will be useful, I think it will tone down the tension a little bit, and we keep doing that. As a result, we will have a very long paragraph with small amount of essence on it. So how to prevent that things from happening? Keep the process into, or make the explain the process into several parts, into several paragraphs. If you have to put them in more than 2 paragraphs, then go ahead. As long as you don't try to prolong the paragraphs. Example, just like we had earlier, water cycle. How many steps we have there? Stepsnya ada berapa di cycle tadi?
Four to five steps.
4 to 5 steps. Imagine if you have longer explanation and then you put everything in one paragraph. What will happen?
Maybe it's hard for the reader to process the information.
Exactly, and that's what we want to avoid. Yeah, I already explained the function of breaking the information down into paragraphs. For us, it is useful to keep our focus on track, to keep our explanation, our statements, our example relevant to the topic. And for the readers, it will be more useful because it will be easier for them to digest or to understand the topic. So analogically, it will be like if I say, I will give you 50 numbers. That's me. By the way, please let me know if it hits 11 o'clock because there are a few things I have to do, but I will be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. So please let me know. Where were we? Oh, sequencing. Oh, yeah. It will be the same like this. If I say like this, for the next 5 days, I want you to do 50 numbers, or you have to make 50 sentences. What will you feel?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you
Yeah.
repeat the question?
For the next 10 days, okay, you have to make 50 sentences, and I will give you 10 days to make and collect the sentences. What will you feel?
Maybe definition.
No, I mean, what will you feel like? Will you feel pressured, or will you feel, or if you want to give up suddenly because, well, 50 sentences on 10 days? Mentally,
Pressure.
yes, you'll feel the pressure. But what if I switch the sentence in like this? I will give you an assignment. It will take 10 days, and on each day, I want you to make 5 sentences. How will you feel?
It feels more structured.
It feels,
More structured. Your
yes.
task is more structured.
Will you feel it's more manageable?
Still pressure, but manageable.
Yeah. So it's just the same, like the sequencing in explanation types. Your readers will give up, quote unquote, if you have the steps in one long paragraph. If you put them into shorter paragraphs, it's up to you whether you want to put them into paragraphs or 3 paragraphs or even 4. It will make them more relaxed, and yeah, your objective will be accomplished. They will read the entire text because they won't feel, what do we call, they won't feel tired. They won't feel that your text is heavy, but they will feel that each part is easy to understand. It only consists of several sentences, so that they can finish the entire text easier. And for the last part, we have conclusion, and on the conclusion part, just like the opening statement, you don't have to create a long paragraph. You only have to restate your main idea, add a little bit of information. So a paragraph consists of 2 until 3 3 sentences will be enough here. So far about the structure, do you have any questions? Ada pertanyaan atau enggak? Any questions? No? If you have no questions, I have to leave you for like a few minutes, and then I'll be back in 10 minutes top. Yeah, so if you need to go to the toilet or if you need to get some refreshment, go ahead. And I'll be back in 10 to 5 to 10 more minutes. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. Yep, I'm back. Okay, talking about text structure, do you have any questions? Ada yang masih bingung atau enggak tentang structure-nya dari si explanation text ini? Yes, no, or I don't know.
No, sir.
Okay, now let's go to the final part of the explanation text. We have talked about the structure. Now we have to let's talk about the features. When we talk about explanation text or when we create explanation text, there are several features that we can find. First, all of the sentences, or at least most of the sentences, will be in simple present tense. Can you tell me why they come in simple present tense?
Because maybe in the explanation kayak apa hal yang happen continually gitu, jadi kayak every week every day gitu, terus simple dan nggak ada yang kayak past tense.
Okay, so for you, since we talk about things that continuously happen, so that's why everything mostly is in simple present tense. Okay, can I have other answers maybe about the reason why most of the sentences or most of the information is in simple present tense?
I think I can answer that.
Yep.
Because for explanation text, we use an action. We refer to an action or a situation that do not change frequently, like explaining right now.
Okay, very good. So if I have to combine both of your answers, basically we're talking about facts. We talk about certain things that remains the same from, I don't know, maybe years and years and years ago, and then it is still the same until present time. And if we take a look, or if we find it on the future, it will remain the same. So basically, since we are talking about facts here, most of the sentences will be in simple present. Ya, jadi karena sebagian besar itu berbentuk fakta, biarpun nggak harus, apa namanya, they will be in simple present. And the second one, why will we find several or even many passive sentences there? Kenapa? Kita akan menemukan banyak kalimat pasif di sana. Kenapa kira-kira akan banyak passive sentences di sana? Okay. Because what?
Maybe because it shows that more into the action rather than the subject.
They're very good because we want to focus more on the event. We want to focus on the action, on what's going on, instead of who performs the action. So that's why there will be many sentences come in passive. Nggak harus semuanya, but perbandingannya biasa seimbang. Ya. Next. We will also find sequence conjunction. Some things like first, after that, then finally, and yeah, many other sequence conjunction. And they will be useful since we are going to talk about process. So instead of using step 1 or first step is, the second step is, and you can use sequence conjunction to make your text easier, more comfortable to read. Finally, we will have technical terms. We talk about natural phenomena, natural or maybe social phenomena. Each has different terms. For example, when we talk about how rain happens, we will have terms like water cycle, evaporation. What else? Words related to rain and water cycle.
Transpiration and
Condensation.
Yes, sorry?
condensation.
Condensation.
Exactly, condensation. Or maybe when we talk about the algorithm of Instagram, we will have words like post, we will have words like engagement, we will have words like followers, likes, and things like hashtags. So that's why here in explanation text, make sure you insert those terms. Do we have to be very technical? No. You have to adjust who your readers are. If you want to present your text to experts, you can be very technical. But if the text is for your friends or for people in general, then you have to tone everything down so it will be on the level where everyone can easily understand it. Any question? Yes or no?
No, sir.
If you have no more questions, let's do this. Okay. We're not going to read this text. We will break this text based on the features and the structure. So let's go to the structure first. Which part of the structure is missing here? Yang nggak ada apa?
Title.
Yeah, it doesn't have title. We can work on it later. And which one is the opening statement?
The first paragraph.
Yes, it's on the first paragraph. And the sequencing. How many paragraphs?
Second.
On the second until
second until the fifth.
How many paragraphs are there on the sequencing part?
4 paragraphs.
4 paragraphs. Yeah, here we can see that to make the explanation easier, you can break it into several paragraphs or several parts. Yeah. Imagine if you have everything in one paragraph, then it will be very confusing. And last one, for the, what do we call, for the conclusion,
The 6th paragraph.
on the 6th paragraph. You can see here on the opening and on the what we call conclusion part, you will not find long paragraph. Ya, jadi di sini tidak berlaku aturan paragraf minimal 5 kalimat ya. You can even make a paragraph consists of 2 sentences. Oops, sorry. That's when we talk about the structure. Now let's talk about the features. Can we find sentences which are not in simple present?
The first sentence on the first paragraph.
First sentence on the
Paragraph.
first paragraph. Which one? Would you please read the sentence?
It's not in simple present. The photosynthesis is the process used by plants.
Algae and certain bacteria to harness energy from sunlight and turn it into chemical energy. This one?
Only the used.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is actually simple present, but in passive because we have to be over here. Oh, photosynthesis is the process which is used. So the sentence is shortened over here, but it's actually comes in simple present. Okay, and apa ada kalimat lain nggak? Any other sentences? Sure, not in simple present. Or everything is in simple present for you. And how many passive sentences you can find on that text? Yeah, how many passive sentences?
Three.
Let's see, on the first paragraph, how many passive sentences we can find?
Only one
Only one. Which one?
is the first sentence.
First sentence. Ada lagi? That. How about the second paragraph?
One. The last.
Only one? Which one?
Oxygen is
Hmm?
and is seen.
Oh, okay, very good. The next paragraph.
On the last sentence, ultimately oxygen is produced.
Produced along with carbohydrates, very good. And you can also find it here, yeah. CO2 is reduced. Or
Kalau yang the water becomes oxidized itu juga atau bukan?
yang mana? Yang on which paragraph?
Yang paragraf 3, and the water becomes oxidized.
During light energy transfer to protein transfer, or the water becomes oxidized. Oh yeah, can also, it is also passive because we can turn the word becomes into s, just like this one. So it is also passive, very good. On the next paragraph, paragraph 4. Paragraph 4. Does it have passive sentence there? There's no, the next paragraph.
Didn't find any.
Maybe this one, which are primarily found. And the last paragraph.
Primarily found.
Ini mana nih? The process typically occurs. Oh ya, ini dia. Jadi subjeknya si the process, and then we have which are primarily found. Last one.
The flow process can be neatly summarized as
Yeah.
equation.
Very good. And lastly, about the technical terms. Almost all over the place nih. What are they? Can you give me some examples of it?
Oxidized. Algae.
Sorry?
Algae.
Oh, algae, okay. And then? We have electrons, we have, what is it? Oxygenic, anoxygenic, photosynthesis, of course, aquatic, and many more. Yeah, we can find some more on these texts.
I'm sorry, sir. The time.
Yep, I'm about to close.
Okay.
So thank you for reminding me. Any other questions? No? Okay, if we have no more questions, that will be all for today. So thank you so much for the discussion and thank you for arranging this session. I'll see you again next week. Have a nice day, everyone.
Have a nice day too, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.